Have you ever seen something so awkward it's brilliant? Picture this. A local talent show, the lights dim, and a guy, let's call him Dave, walks onto the stage. He's got this deer-in-the-headlights look, clutching a microphone like it's a lifeline. The air is thick with anticipation and, let's be honest, a little bit of cringe. What could he possibly be doing? Is he a comedian? A singer? A magician who forgot his props? The music starts, and it's a dramatic, epic movie score. And Dave just stands there. He doesn't sing. He doesn't speak. He just stands, shifting his weight from one foot to the other. The audience starts to shuffle. You can hear a few whispers, a nervous cough. Is this part of the act? It has to be, right? But as the seconds tick by, turning into a full minute, the tension becomes almost unbearable. He's just looking out at the crowd, his expression a weird mix of terror and determination. People start to giggle uncomfortably. Someone in the back yells, "Get on with it," but Dave remains frozen, a statue of pure awkwardness. The epic music swells, making the whole scene even more absurd. It feels like we're watching a car crash in slow motion, and we can't look away. Then, something shifts. Dave takes a deep, shaky breath. He slowly raises one hand, palm out, like he's trying to stop traffic. The music continues to blast, full of heroism and adventure, and all he's doing is holding up a hand. It's the least epic thing you could possibly do to this soundtrack. And that's when the first real laugh breaks out. Not a nervous titter, but a genuine, belly-deep laugh. It's contagious. Soon, the whole room is roaring with laughter. The sheer absurdity of a man standing perfectly still, doing absolutely nothing to this grandiose music, is just comedy gold. Dave seems to feed off this energy. He slowly, very slowly, begins to move. He takes one tiny, deliberate step forward. The crowd cheers like he just landed a triple back. He then takes another step, even slower this time. The audience is going wild. He's not dancing. He's not miming. He's just walking. But his timing, his complete commitment to this bizarre, minimalist performance, is captivating. He's turned his stage fright into an art form. Every tiny, hesitant movement becomes a punchline. He'll pause for what feels like an eternity, then just slightly adjust his glasses, and the audience loses it all over again. He then starts to incorporate props, but these aren't your typical stage props. He pulls a single, uncooked spaghetti noodle from his pocket, holds it up, inspecting it with the gravity of a bomb disposal expert. The music is reaching a thunderous crescendo, fit for a final battle scene in a fantasy epic. And Dave, he just snaps the noodle in half. The sound, a tiny asterisk, snap asterisk, is completely drowned out by the music, but everyone sees it. The juxtaposition is so perfect, so unexpected, that the laughter turns into applause. He's a genius of the mundane, a master of He continues this pattern for the next few minutes. He takes out a wallet and meticulously counts his change. He ties his shoelace with the focus of a brain surgeon. Each action is performed with painstaking slowness and an utterly serious face, all while this ridiculously over-the-top heroic music plays. He has the entire audience in the palm of his hand. We're no longer just watching a guy on a stage. We're part of this shared, surreal experience. We're all in on the joke, and the joke is that there is no joke. Or maybe the joke is life itself. It was getting surprisingly deep. As the music begins to fade, Dave slowly walks to the center of the stage. He hasn't said a single word this entire time. He stands there for one final, long pause. The room is silent, waiting. He clears his throat. He leans into the microphone, and with the most deadpan voice imaginable, he just says, "Thanks." Then he turns and walks off stage. The place erupts, standing ovation, whistles, cheers. People are on their feet, wiping tears of laughter from their eyes. He walked on stage as an awkward nobody and walked off as a local legend. This story about Dave is a perfect reminder of something powerful. Creativity doesn't always have to be loud, flashy, or polished. Sometimes, the most memorable and effective performances come from leaning into your own quirks, your own vulnerabilities, Dave didn't try to be a slick singer or a polished comedian. He took his own awkwardness, his own fear, and turned it into a superpower. He found a way to connect with the audience, not by being perfect, but by being perfectly, unapologetically himself. It is a powerful lesson for anyone who has ever felt like they don't quite fit the mold. Think about it in your own life. How many times have we tried to hide our own awkward bits, to present a perfect, filtered version of ourselves? We're so afraid of being judged that we sand down all our interesting edges. But what if, like Dave, we embrace them? What if your unique sense of humor, your quirky habits, or even your moments of nervousness are actually your greatest strengths? That's where true connection happens. People don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with authenticity. They relate to the struggle, the humanity, the realness. So, the next time you feel a little out of place or nervous, think of Dave and his spaghetti noodle. Maybe you don't need to put on a big show. Maybe all you need to do is be brave enough to be yourself, even if that self is a little weird. You might be surprised at how many people are just waiting to give you a standing ovation. It's a reminder that sometimes the quietest voice, or in this case, no voice at all, can make the biggest impact. Thanks so much for watching and sharing this little story with me. If it resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Why did no one stop him when everything felt so wrong? The man stood still at the center of the stage. The music was still playing, soft but steady. The lights stayed the same, bright, quiet, waiting. It felt like time had slowed down just for him. He did not move. The audience leaned forward without realizing it. Even those who had laughed before were silent now. Something had changed, but no one could explain what it was. The man took a deep breath, and then he moved again. This time, it was different. His arms rose slowly, not sharp anymore. His shoulders relaxed. His feet stepped with more care, more purpose. The movement was still strange, but it no longer felt lost. It felt so zen. The music grew slightly louder. The man's body followed it, not fighting it. Now, his steps began to match the beat. Not perfectly. Not clean. But honestly, every move looked like it came from a place deep inside him. The audience felt it. No one laughed. Some faces softened. Some eyes widened. A few people stopped blinking, afraid to miss even 1 second. The judges sat up straighter. One placed both hands on the table. Another leaned back slowly, watching without judgment now. The man's face had changed too. The fear was still there, but it no longer controlled him. His eyes were focused. His mouth relaxed. His body moved like it finally understood what it wanted to say. He turned his body toward the audience. The background screen behind him slowly shifted colors. Soft blues. Warm orange light. Nothing sharp. Nothing loud. Just space. The stage lights followed his movement, casting gentle shadows across the floor. His shadow stretched long and thin, moving with him like a quiet partner. He stepped forward, then another step. His arms opened wide, then pulled back in close to his chest. It looked like someone opening a door, then holding onto something precious inside. The music beat stronger now. His movements became faster, but not wild. Controlled. Intentional. Each step landed with meaning. Each turn carried weight. The audience began to react, but not with noise, with feeling. A woman near the front row wiped her eyes without knowing why. A man beside her sat very still, his hands clasped together. Somewhere in the back, someone whispered, "I get it now." The man danced like someone who had waited a long time to be seen. Not praised, not loved. Seen. His body told a story without words. A story of standing alone, of being judged too quickly, of being different in a world that prefers the same. The judges did not look confused anymore. They looked moved. One leaned forward, eyes fixed on the stage. Another nodded slowly, as if recognizing something familiar. The man spun once, almost losing balance, then caught himself. He smiled briefly, a real smile. Small. honest. The audience noticed. A few soft claps started. Not loud. Not planned. Just instinct. The man heard them. His chest lifted. His steps grew stronger. The music reached its peak. His final movements were big now. Wide steps. Open arms. A full turn that ended with him standing tall at the center of the stage. Feet planted firmly. Head raised. Then the music stopped. Silence. For one breath, no one moved. The man stood still, breathing hard. Sweat rolled down his face. His arms dropped slowly to his sides. His chest rose and fell fast. He waited. No smile, no bow, just waiting. Then the room exploded. Applause burst from every corner. Loud, sudden, real. People stood up without thinking. Hands clapped hard. Cheers filled the space. The man looked shocked. His eyes widened. His mouth opened slightly. He looked around, unsure if the sound was meant for him. It was. The judges stood too. One clapped slowly, deeply. Another smiled wide, shaking their head in disbelief. The man brought a hand to his chest, as if checking that this moment was real. The applause did not stop. It grew. Tears filled his eyes. He blinked fast, trying to hold them back, but they fell anyway. He did not wipe them away. He didn't need to. For the first time, he was not invisible. When the noise finally softened, the man bowed his head slightly, not as a performer, as a human saying thank you. The judges spoke, but their words felt less important than their faces. Warm, respectful, changed. They did not talk about perfect moves or clean steps. They talked about courage, about honesty, about showing up as yourself, even when the world might laugh. The man listened quietly. His shoulders relaxed more with each word. When it was over, he walked off the stage slowly. The lights dimmed behind him. The screen faded back to calm color. The crowd continued clapping as he disappeared into the shadows. Backstage was quieter, smaller. The noise from the room sounded far away now. He leaned against a wall for a moment and closed his eyes. Braided, not fast anymore. Slow, steady. Whatever happened next did not matter. He had done the hardest part. Ad estele. And somewhere in the audience, people left their seats thinking about their own lives. About times they felt out of place. About moments they almost walked away. They would remember this performance, not because it was perfect, but because it was true. The stage lights turned off. The room emptied, but the feeling stayed.